Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
New at 6, bracing for impact. Florida and North Carolina among a number of states in the crosshairs of Hurricane Dorian as it barrels toward the mainland after 2 days of the destruction in the Bahamas. Coco.
An emotional plea from the family of a Detroit mother shot and killed.
Y'all took the lifeline of our family.
We'll share their message to the person who did this.
Also, tensions rising in Wyandotte as the school board hosts a special meeting to address the ongoing investigation surrounding a volunteer accused of sex crimes against children. All coming up here at 6. Good to have you with us. We're going to start things off, though, with Ben watching Hurricane Dorian and also a severe weather threat here.
That's right. Let's check in with him right now because we might be looking for tornado conditions later.
That is what really caught our attention in this setup. There are still a lot of questions to be answered tonight, but yes, we're sort of on dual stories, Dorian and the potential for severe weather as we get into tonight. We're under a slight risk for severe weather, and the Storm Prediction Center, which issues these risks, came out earlier today and said that they thought about going to the enhanced risk, which is that Category 3, but decided against it because there's still a lot of factors that are working against the severe potential. But I want to show you one of the latest model forecasts tonight. We're still focused on that 8 to a really midnight window. We'll start seeing those thunderstorms pop close to the cold front, especially out here in West Michigan. And then 9 o'clock, these are going to start to expand. 10 o'clock especially, we're really focused on this area in the south and west zone where it looks like a lot of the dynamics in the upper levels are going to be maximized, which means that's the area that we're concerned about for tornado potential, but any of these storms could be severe. Once we get past midnight tonight, the storm threat goes away quickly and we can relax for the remainder of the night. But all of the threats are in play, including the possibility of tornadoes. So we'll talk more about the timing of this and, of course, have more on Dorian in just a few minutes. Guys?
All right, Ben, in fact, we'll talk more about Dorian now. It continues to carve a large path of damage across the Bahamas, and now we've got a number of states that are watching what's going to happen next.
That's right. This morning, it was downgraded to a Category 2 hurricane, which means it has wind speeds as high as 110 miles per hour.
Downgraded, though, in terms of wind speed, but the storm's still posing very intense threats of storm surge as well as potentially catastrophic flooding, leaving a number of U.S. states on high alert.
Yeah, and even though the storm isn't expected to give another direct hit, the impact is still a force to be reckoned with. Take a look at these images sent to us here by our own Rod Maloney's brother, Ned Maloney. He's, of course, Rod, a reporter showing up boarded houses and businesses in Florida as Dorian closes in. So let's send things over to Rod right now with more. Rod.
Most Michiganders have connections to Florida, friend, family, a house down there. My brother lives in Palm Bay, Florida, which is just south of the Kennedy Space Center. He's lived there for 17 years. He's been through a lot of storms like this one, so he is not one to easily panic.
I went to the store on Wednesday night, and there was nothing on the shelves already, which got me concerned because everybody else was a lot more hurricane mode than I was at that point.
Yet it wasn't until yesterday when Dorian became a Category 5, he really got serious.
Some people have shutters. We have boards, the same ones I use every year that fitted for the house, but forget that, sometimes you forget about, you got to get tap going to the cement and that kind of thing, but that's pretty standard stuff. But generators, if you leave your gas in the generator for the year like I did, and it turns to water, you got to get your car sorted out.
He's noticed as Dorian started north, the overall mood's improved.
People are kind of nasty in the beginning. Then once everybody's kind of got everything they need, the last couple of days, everybody's been really pleasant. But yeah, it's a challenge. I mean, trying to find things. You still might lose power possibly, but trying to find everything, water and soup and things you could heat up easily.
The houses and business in the area are all boarded up now. The roads are quiet, he says, and he's anxious to get back to work, but he's a realtor.
It's hard to start calling people up and getting them excited about moving to Florida right now. They have short memories. Next week will be fine.
My brother, the pragmatist, indeed. So he says that he's concerned about the power going out. They're concerned about storm surge, but he's about 5 miles in, so he doesn't expect it to be a problem in his neighborhood. There are barrier islands out there. But all in all, he says, ever since they found out I was going to be turning north, he's feeling a whole lot better about it. He's braced for the worst, but he figures if the power goes out, and that's the worst of it, he'll be just fine. Reporting live downtown, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
That's the best thing. And we appreciate your brother talking to us, Rod. Thank you.
Also making big news here at 6, Wyandotte. Families there demanding answers. They might get their wish in just a few minutes. The school board is going to hold an emergency meeting to address an investigation into a volunteer accused of sex crimes against children. Controversy centers on this man. Michael Beebe worked as a volunteer at the James Monroe Elementary School, even though he had a record of violent felonies. Parents reached out to the district more than a year ago, telling them that Beebe had been acting inappropriately. Well, no action was taken until earlier this year. That meeting is going to start in about a half an hour. Jermont Terry reporting live tonight from Wyandotte with more. Jermont?
Yeah, Devin, in less than an hour from now, parents are expected to pack this special school board meeting. At issue, as you mentioned, whether the superintendent and that middle school principal overstepped their reach when they allowed for Beebe to volunteer despite knowing about his violent criminal history. When the Wyandotte School Board last met in August, it opted to hire an independent law firm to investigate the district's role around this volunteer and parent, Michael Beebe. Beebe is currently sitting in jail. He's charged with 15 sex charges. Superintendent Catherine Cost confirms the children Beebe are accused of preying on are students in the school district. And while the superintendent is adamant nothing happened on school grounds, parents, frustrated, don't see it that way.
Catherine Cost has said nothing happened on school grounds. That is false. He allowed to groom these kids each day on his terms.
Parents' disappointment reached higher levels once they learned Dr. Cost decided to disregard Beebe's criminal history. Despite knowing he served time in prison for home invasion, she allowed this parent to still volunteer at Monroe Elementary. Part of the independent investigation ordered by the school board was to determine if the superintendent failed to protect the children and overstepped her role. Parents demanding one thing from Dr. Cost.
Should be gone. You guys should step down.
When I asked Dr. Cost if she felt resignation was a reasonable request, she said,
I'm going to discuss that with my board president, and we'll make a decision together.
But tonight, that decision may be made for Dr. Cost because we expect to find out the results of this independent investigation. We will most definitely have a full live update beginning at 11 o'clock. For now, reporting live in Wyandotte, Jermont Terry, Local 4.
You got it, Jermont. We'll see you then.
Big news in the automotive industry today as the UAW tells the big three automakers they will strike if they can't reach a fair deal. The union also decided that General Motors will be the first company they negotiate with. Analysts say that's because GM is the most profitable of the big three and because of its plans to cut jobs at plants across the U.S.
Let's move now to a Local 4 update into a Ferndale nightclub shooting. No charges are expected to be filed in the Bosco Lounge shooting last week that left 2 men wounded. The 2 security guards who were previously in custody have since been released.
Tonight, one Detroit family is searching for justice after a loving mother is shot and killed.
And now her 7 children and the rest of her family are speaking out about it. 30-year-old Francesca Marks was shot and killed at Rouge Park 1 month ago today.
Coco McAvoy is reporting live tonight. Coco, she was just an innocent bystander caught in the crossfire.
Yes, that's right. It all happened here at this park. Francesca Marks was here for a family reunion, and there was a fight on the basketball court, and then gunfire started to erupt. She was caught in the crossfire, and now her family just wants justice.
Man, she was an angel here on earth. She was everything.
And now Francesca Marks is gone, taken from her family in a senseless shooting last month.
Y'all took the lifeline of our family.
Marks was at a family reunion at Rouge Park when she was shot and killed during a shootout over a basketball game she had nothing to do with.
We love Frankie so much. She meant the world to us. Our life is torn apart, it's ripped apart.
Francesca was the mother to 7 children, the majority of them too young to understand what's going on and why they can't see their mom anymore.
Every morning they ask them where they mommy. And we have to be strong enough to hold them.
The family says Marks' life revolved around her family and kids.
Superwoman. If y'all ever knew a superwoman, It was Francesca. She worked so hard for her kids.
Marks was someone who liked investigating to get to the bottom of what really happened.
And if she could come back and talk to me right now, she'd tell me everything that happened.
But Marks needs other people to be the voice for her now, to come forward with any information about how she was killed and who pulled the trigger at the park. And Crime Stoppers is offering a reward for $2,500 for any information leading to an arrest. And of course, all tips are 100% anonymous. Reporting live this evening, I'm Coco McAvoy, Local 4.
Another senseless shooting. Okay, Coco, thanks.
New at 6.
Thunderstorms starting to pop in southeast Michigan. So far, just a single lightning strike in Lapeer County, but we're getting new data on the tornado threat for tonight, and we'll look at that coming up.
It's the first day of school for some, school safety on the minds of all. Cameras are kind of standard in schools now, but some things that districts are doing to make it even safer.